Rubik's Cube.
Right, recording.
Aeroplanes.
Airplane. There isn't. Is there an airplane?
That's what I said it for. A helicopter.
It's coming looking for
I
you.
bet there'll be like a Facebook group somewhere your local Balloch Facebook page going, why is there a helicopter? What's going on? Is there drugs going on? What's happening?
You do need to narrow me down to Balloch. Cumbernauld old's enough.
Alright, case all your tens of fads come and see.
Tens, you mean
Tens.
dozens at least. Come on. Dearie me.
Your sevens.
So we're back. Episode 15.
Episode 15. We've done well to get one today because you've been away.
We have.
Away drinking for a week.
We've been gallivanting.
Gallivanting.
In the mountains.
In Austria.
Mm-hmm.
Is that right?
Austria. Meyerhofen to be.
Meyerhofen.
Meyerhofen.
Aye. How was it?
Oh, mental.
Mental.
It was. I don't know what I expected from a comedy festival, because there was a lot of comedy and there was a lot, of drinking.
Explain what it is because people don't know.
Aye, sure. So here's the thing. I'm just back from Altitude Comedy Festival. Oh, there's a wee.
But I wasn't there.
No yet.
Because I'm not getting. I'm not in with the right people yet.
Yet though.
Yeah, I'll be there. So if you're for Altitude, he's a gig next year. Well, I was in Inverness at the weekend, so fuck your Altitude. Plus I was in Rothsay last week.
There you go. We've been globe-trotting between us.
Aye, I've been around the world.
Aye, so I'm just back from Altitude.
Right.
It's a comedy festival. It's been going for
10. It's not that long, is it?
No, it's more than 10, but not.
Is it 10?
Not much more than 10.
Aye.
Basically, it's in the Austrian mountains in a resort called Meyerhofen, and there's.
Do you have to practice that?
What, to say Meyerhofen?
Aye.
No.
Your fancy German words.
Is this like when you couldn't say white van man at the at the workshop? You kept saying, "And now welcome Murray, the white man."
The white van man.
The white van.
White van man. I've been practicing ever since. So I never want to feel that humiliated ever again.
I'm impressed.
White van man. Sorry.
So where was I? Meyerhofen.
Aye.
So the idea is you ski or snowboard or do whatever you want in the mountains all day.
Right.
And then at night there's 3 comedy shows.
So there's 3 shows every night.
So there's the first one, what they call the Après Ski Show.
Right.
And they're in 3 different venues as well. So this first one is in the hotel bar area.
Right. So it's a smaller venue, or is it?
Yeah, quite small. I mean, even then it's probably still bigger than like the Tenants Bar, but
aye, well,
it's quite big.
The Tenants Bar holds 50 a push.
This probably held maybe 100.
Aye.
So on Monday, Wednesday and Friday, that Après Ski Show was an improv show.
Right.
So it was the International Improv All-Stars, I think they were called.
All right. So
you know
who was in that?
Ian Coppinger. You know him? Short baldy guy.
I've heard the name.
I forget the other names, to be honest. He was the only one that I remember because he did his own set at a different show.
He's a stand-up as well. I don't know him.
He did a stand-up set at one of the other. I've left my lem sip. Hold on. Get a wee sniff.
Oh, no. Oh, this is the only week you've brought us closer together and you've fucking riddled with the flu or something.
If I'm going down, you're coming with.
Fuck's sake.
Right.
I'm going to end up with the Austrian flu that he's picked up for all these comedians he's hanging about with the last week.
So, where was I? So the improv shows, right? Do you enjoy improv stuff?
I used to do a bit of improv.
Because I've only ever seen improv. I've been to a couple of improv things at the Fringe.
Aye.
And they were... yeah, you know.
It depends who does it.
Well, that's it. But I'd heard good things about these guys. The whole reason I know about Altitude is from listening to like Daniel Sloss and Guy Humphrey's podcast.
Aye.
Because they've done it quite a few times. They were both there this year. And they always talk about how good it is. So that's why I wanted to go. But they said like, improv shows, they can be a bit thingy, but this one, these guys that do this are very good. And they were.
Aye. Because it's like, the thing with improv shows, it's like, there's millions of them, millions of people do it. And it's like, so it's the same as stand-up, I think. You go to see, like, you go to the Edinburgh Festival, you get millions of improv shows.
Aye, to varying levels.
So you just could be just students who just do it, like they do it together, and they thought, fuck it, let's do an improv show.
Aye.
And they're not actually that good at it. But then you get people that are really...
Aye, because as far as I understand, these guys have been doing it for years.
Aye.
They had one, there was another guy, Andy Smart, that used to do it as part of their group, and apparently he died, like, sort of less than a year ago.
Aye.
They did do a tribute to him at the last late show on Friday there. Apparently he used to do a thing where he would go on stage, and the challenge was he had to down a pint, but he had toilet roll hanging out his arse, and they would light it at the bottom, and he had to finish the pint before the fire gets to your arse. So as a tribute, they got Kai Humphries got up and did that, and he did it as a race against what's her name? Amy something. She's a DJ, part of the. There was another guy, a kind of character act there called Reverend Michael Alabama or something like that.
All right, not the Reverend Obadiah.
No,
no
him.
No,
Him. He was an English guy. They were also like in a DJ group as well, so they did some of these kind of things. But it was her. It was his girlfriend who's also a DJ. Sort of raced against Kai doing this.
Who won?
Her technically, but really she just poured the pint all down her. So it doesn't count.
Was this like a good looking woman? She's like a poured pint on her, so that.
No, I think she was just being a shite bag and.
All right, I thought she was going for the wet t-shirt competition. Look,
no.
So this will get the audience on the side.
She kind of came out. She came out like wearing a bikini. Kai came out with a sock over his cock, and that was it. So.
Fuck's sake, man.
Kai also had a jug of beer instead of a pint, just to up the ante a bit. So the fire did get pretty close to singeing his arse hair, but
shit, man.
That was a fun show.
That's wild. I like
so,
that.
that was the first day. So the après ski show, and they had a guest every night doing the improv with them. So it was the 3 guys in the group.
Right.
So on the Monday, their guest was Marcus Brigstock.
Right. Actually, they had a comedian on.
So I think he's got a bit of improv experience.
Aye.
On the Wednesday, they had Rob Rouse. Do you know Rob Rouse?
Aye, that big guy with blonde hair, big teeth. No.
No.
I think it's somebody else. Rob Beckett, I think.
Oh, aye.
I know the names. There's a lot of names I know in comedy that
I only knew Rob Rouse from having seen him on like Have a Word or something like last year. But I'd never seen his stand up.
I know he's a well known name, but I just can't.
But he did quite a few shows and he was brilliant. He did one show on one of the late shows. Things got kind of moved about set wise because I was saying just before we started recording, Andrew Maxwell was ill when he arrived.
Aye.
He was meant to be on the main gala show the first night, but he couldn't. So then Marcus Brigstock had to host instead, and they brought Rob Rouse onto that show. So he was really good. And then at one of the late shows, he did a song about a tiny horse. It was brilliant. So we had the après ski show that was 5:30 every day. That was the first show.
Aye.
Then the main show is the gala show. So you walk 10 minutes down the road, there's a big sort of, they call it the Europa House. It's a kind of theatre.
Right, so that's a big venue.
Aye, that's the main show.
So how do you need to buy tickets for the shows, or do you just turn up? Is that like, do you have like a thing that gets you in?
We got like the full week wristband.
Right, but some people didn't have that.
Most people that are there, basically, if you're buying individual tickets to each show, it's mostly like maybe locals that live and work in the area and they just see this thing's on.
Right.
But most people like travel specifically from the UK or elsewhere just to spend the full week at this festival. So you're going to buy the weekend full pass thing. So the main show was at that kind of other venue, like 10 minutes down the road. I'm saying from our hotel because that's where the kind of festival is based, from the hotel that we were staying in. So that's like where the comedians were staying. It's where the office for the thing is to go and pick up your tickets. It's where all the crew are staying. Aye. And 2 of the 3 venues are in the hotel. So that one I was telling you about, the early show is basically in the pub in the hotel. Aye. The main show is down the road, and then the late show is basically in a nightclub that's underneath the hotel. Right. Aye. Was that the wild one? Yeah. So the Monday night one was wild. We sat down. We were kind of sitting near the front because we had VIP tickets.
Well, check him out with a VIP ticket, eh?
I bought VIP tickets purely because you get drinks with it.
Fair enough. A few freebies.
So we were sitting down near the front. It was kind of benches like this, a bit smaller, but like kind of benches along both sides. And there was an Irish guy that had been like fucking screaming in the early show. Anytime somebody mentioned Ireland, he'd be like, "Hey! Ireland!" And sort of as the main gala show was getting on, he was getting a bit rowdy. Then we got to the late show and he sat fucking right beside us. And then his girlfriend was Portuguese.
He's going to be on the podcast next week. That's good.
He's not coming to my house. So him and his girlfriend, his Portuguese girlfriend, sat down next to us and wouldn't shut up. Who was hosting that night? Barry Murphy. You know him?
No, I don't think so.
I think he's Irish, but he spent the whole week in
Barry Humphries.
No, Barry Murphy.
Dave Edna.
He spent the whole week, all the shows he did in character as like a German guy called Gunther. All right. So, and also Ainsley doesn't quite grasp character acts yet. So he was on and she was like, "Is he really German?" And I'm like, no, you don't get it. And then there was somebody else.
Character act.
No, there was somebody else. Another cat. Oh, that Reverend guy I was telling you about.
Aye.
We were talking to him at the bar like the day they all got there, and he's just like an English guy, quite fashionable. He's a DJ.
Aye.
And then he comes on stage in like a cowboy hat and a mad like, cowboy suit type thing, and he's doing the whole Reverend. He was doing a show called Chairlift Confessions, so he was getting comedians on to like confess to stuff.
Right.
And the audience had to decide whether they were getting absolved and all this. But Ainsley was like, "Is he American? Is he really a reverend?" And I'm like, "We talked to him at the bar 2 days ago."
I know. It's mad, isn't it, how good character acts are. Like, see, we were talking about the Reverend Obadiah Steppenwolf. Is it a similar kind of character?
I've not actually watched any of.
Because he's like an evangelist, kind of cokehead, kind of fucked up Southern American guy.
Aye, similar kind of vibes.
See it off stage, like he's just a normal, just the nicest guy in the world.
Aye.
And he's fine, but then he disappears for about half an hour before the show. And that's him, like, it's as if he's method acting.
Aye.
Then he comes on stage, he's a fucking monster. Like, what the fuck? And I was talking to, remember I was doing a gig in Rothsay 2 weeks ago.
Oh, yeah.
So the guy there is from Alabama.
Right.
So the guy that runs the hotel, Brody, if he's watching. Is he watching? I don't know. And he was asking to get acts over. And he says, have you got, like, he looked to see if they could contact the Reverend. And he didn't know he was Scottish.
Oh, did I think it was actually like a southern?
Because he's like, I'm a Southern American guy. He's like, maybe get him over as well. Yeah, he's from Glasgow, mate. He's like, just he's sometimes saying about Glasgow doing gigs.
There was another guy, not a character act that Ainsley didn't get, but the night we got there, the guy working on the bar, kind of baldy guy, and he had a wee like Irish shamrock tattoo like behind his ear. So we were sitting talking to him, ordering drinks and stuff. He was a nice guy. He was like I'd ordered a certain drink and they didn't have it at that bar, so he went away to the other restaurant.
What guy?
Like, good guy.
Ireland.
He wasn't Irish though, right? He was just like, when you talked to him, he sounded just, you know, that European talking English way.
Aye.
You know, it was
one of the fucked up accents. You can't put your finger on it.
Aye, he's obviously a local. He talks. He's a native tongue is German, obviously.
Right.
And it was just sounded like a German guy talking English.
Right.
And Ainsley was like, "That guy's Irish." And I'm like, "It's not a chance he's Irish." And then the next day we were sitting in the bar, and it's when all the comedians started arriving. So that was the day we were sitting talking to Kai Humphries and Mark Nelson and all that. I was sitting. Mark Nelson bought us a pint, and Ainsley said to Mark Nelson, she went, "He's Irish, isn't he? You can tell by that accent." And I was like, "She doesn't understand accents, mate." Like, she couldn't even tell if you were Scottish. I'd need to tell her.
Is Mark Nelson Scottish?
Yes, aye.
Fucking hell.
And he was like, "Oh, right, hold on, let me hear." And he's like, "I'm not going to do an impression of a German talking English, but Mark Nelson just turned around and went, he sounds like a die-hard villain." Like, and in fact, I was quite proud of myself because I made Mark Nelson laugh. You know, see if you
well done,
if you make one of your comedy heroes laugh, because he said
that was my 6-week comedy workshop you done.
There you go. Well, there was actually a lot of jokes in that workshop along these lines. So he said something like, "He sounds like a die-hard villain," and I said something along the lines of like, "You don't get Irish terrorists." And he was
all
like,
right,
"That's a good one."
And that's funny because you did get Irish terrorists. Oh well, you did
famously.
So
that was a wee interaction with Mr. Nelson. Good fella.
He's a good guy.
What was it? So we were just talking you through the sort of setup of the festival, weren't I? So you had your main shows. That's the big names like your Dara O'Briens and that.
Aye.
Everyone basically did 2 shows.
Right. 2 shows a day. Was it Thursday to Friday? Thursday to Saturday or something?
No, the actual festival was Monday to Friday.
Right.
So the likes of Dara O'Brien and like Paul Smith, he was there.
Alright, Paul Smith as well.
They were only doing like the big main gala shows.
Aye.
So like Paul Smith hosted the Tuesday one, and then he headlined the Wednesday one.
Right.
Dara O'Brien headlined the Monday and the Thursday one.
Right.
Whereas pretty much everyone else was doing like maybe one spot at the main shows and then one spot at the later shows.
So you wouldn't get no like Edinburgh Festival, no solo shows or anything like that. It's just all kind of
No, it's all just mixed bills.
compilation shows.
Aye.
The
only sort of different things out with that was Tuesday, Daniel Sloss and Kai Humphries did a live recording episode of their podcast.
All right,
They did it up. They've done it a few years there, but I think they just do it in the hotel. But this year they did it like up the mountain. So the episode's not out yet, but you'll see it like they're sitting just on this kind of terrace bit, and the whole like the Alps are in the background. It was
Fucking
beautiful.
hell. So what is it? So there is a bit that they can sit and do it with electricity and shit.
Aye, because it was like up where you would actually go skiing.
Right.
So that you get the cable car up.
Right, and you just there's a big crowd up watching that.
Aye, there's quite a lot of us. That was like, it was still part of the building where the cable car comes up to.
Aye.
You kind of go up a set of stairs and there's just a kind of open terrace bit. It was just lovely views and all that. But there's like, it's not just like when you get up there, it's just an empty mountain. There's like loads of restaurants and stuff dotted about the mountain and stuff. So
Like us doing this podcast at the top of the Meikle Bing up the Campsies, like, up the top of the Miko Bang next week.
We'll do an Arthur's Seat episode.
Aye, the Arthur Seat, you've got a crowd up there. There's always a few people up there.
There's always a crowd up there, aye.
But the Miko Bang, there's nobody there. We'll do that during the Edinburgh Festival, one up the top of Arthur Street.
Aye. So that was the full lineup. So you see like the top ones, that's your early shows up the top.
Right, the classes on now. This is me reading this as a silent episode that it would have been after. That's quite a lot. Zoe Lyons is good. Dad O'Brien.
Oh, she was brilliant. I'd seen her on the likes of Mock the Week and stuff, and that kind of setting, but I hadn't seen her stand up.
No, she's really a good compare. She compares. You know, I remember the Edinburgh Festival. We had the late and live show in Edinburgh.
Aye, there was somebody talking about that on stage, but I've not been to it, but I have heard quite a lot of people saying it.
So years ago it was wild. It was like the audience are just, but they're kind of encouraged to be dicks. So it's like wild heckly. So the best comedians will fucking win.
Right.
You know, so it's like, but I went to one with Dan Willis a few years ago, and it was Zoe Lyons comparing.
Right.
I can't remember who was on, and I was actually quite disappointed because it was a good gig, in a way that like the audience were quite well behaved, and at one point, there was actually, me and Dan were sitting, there were two guys chatting behind us. We asked that we keep it down a wee bit. And this was at Late and Live. It was at listen, guys, we're trying to watch the show. But Late and Live's meant to be nuts. But at one point, these guys at the back, you know, Zoe Lyons was comparing it. And these guys are saying, oh, see that, I was during the break, they're going, see that lassie, the other guys are good, but that lassie's, she's just talking to the audience and that. Like, I could do that.
Aye.
And I turned around and I says, do you realise the skill, the years I fucking goes into being able to make it look that easy?
Aye.
And I had a go at them, but just not in a bad way, and they went, aye, fair enough, mate. I just remember going, you fucking think it's just a lassie chatting away? The fact that she's doing that makes it sound natural.
Aye, it comes across that natural
skill, aye.
How much she's honed it. I've seen quite a lot of things recently about...
I got angry there, didn't I?
You did, here we go. We need more rants to put out. I've seen quite a lot of stuff about, obviously, Paul Smith's made it huge just from his clips of his crowd work.
Aye.
And a lot of people are starting to do that. And I've seen a few things about clubs basically starting to ban comics from doing crowd work unless you're hosting, because people are just trying to do crowd work to get clips for TikTok.
All right.
I think more so down south, I think.
Well, I can see that. I can see that. Because
traditionally, you might do a wee bit of something. Somebody in the front row will be like, "What do you do?" and hope you can lead it into a bit. That's just sort of how stuff goes in it. But people are basically seeing the success that Paul Smith's having, putting out crowd work clips, because basically half of his show is crowd work.
Aye, that was him comparing though. When he's doing a solo, so I can see the point of that, because when you go to a gig and it's annoying, and it annoys me if there's a compare, he's kind of there to talk to the audience a wee bit.
Aye.
Well, it depends who he is, and then if a comedian comes in late and does crowd work and asks the same questions, we've already spoke to that guy, and you know, so I get that.
Aye, I've seen a wee bit of that. I forgot what I was telling you actually. So I was telling you about that loud Irish guy that was sitting at our table.
Aye. We got distracted for 10 minutes there, didn't we?
It was on the night of that first late show, and it was that Barry Murphy that was hosting, and he got that drunk guy up and another guy, and he had a wee like competition game that he was playing with them.
Aye.
And this guy was like, couldn't even answer. He'd like be like, ask him a question, put the mic to his mouth, and he'd just go, and he'd be like, right, good answer.
I see, that's what you get with guys that are dicks with a heckler. Once you get them on stage, they're fucked.
Aye, but they played their wee game, whatever, had a laugh with it, took them off the back of the stage, and he was just like, I just take him at the back and fucking shoot him. Nobody wants him here, or something like that, right? And he never came back to our table, and his girlfriend, who you'd expect to be like, oh my God, I better go out and find them. She just sat with whoever she was sitting with and got even louder and kept shouting, and then like...
Well, she was shouting as well.
Aye, like she was quite bad as well. Not as bad as him, but like once he disappeared, she never bothered to like leave the table and go and look for him.
Maybe she's like, thank fuck that dick to me.
No, they were both just dicks.
Right.
I never even saw him again the whole week. That was Monday night. I never saw him again. And like most people you'd see...
All right.
Like the whole week, and you'd see them every day.
So Jake, like that's how they deal with hecklers in Austria. They just shoot them.
I hope so. He was being a dick. Aye.
Kris has just committed a hate crime there, hoping an Irish guy gets shot.
Did nothing. And then so there was the late shows. That was the first one. It was mental. Everyone was talking, but then like who was on the Tuesday late show? Can you see? I'm trying to think who it was. Oh, Scott Bennett. Do you know him?
I don't know him. I know of him, but he's
really good.
pretty good.
I've never even really heard of him, but he was really good.
He kind of went viral during the lockdown.
Aye.
So he kind of started doing. He did a show in his shed.
All right, okay.
Which kind of went
like a podcast type show.
Aye. Well, he kind of stand up kind of show. But he just done it like a show in his shed during the podcast during the lockdown, either every day or once a week or something.
So I can't remember who it was, but there was somebody that was like, "Oh, I was nervous because I was at the late show last night and you were all cunts." But for whatever reason, on Tuesday, everyone was like dead good, and it was a well behaved, like decent show.
Who said that, Scott?
I can't remember. I was just looking at the lineup there to try and remember who it was because I'm sure that was on the Tuesday.
I think he's quite good at dealing with rowdiness. I think.
You can tell there was some of them that you can kind of tell have, really been on the club circuit.
Aye.
And got like both him, Scott Bennett, and Rob Rouse.
I don't know
really
how to deal
that
with that, the craziness.
Aye.
I
really enjoyed both of them.
Aye.
Jack Gledo, have you heard of him?
Nah.
He's a younger guy. He does quite a lot of music-based stuff, not like musical comedy, like him singing.
Aye.
He'll just like put on a song and do. It's hard to explain without seeing it, but he was really good. And he ended up getting put on the main show on
Thursday. He got progressed.
Well, there was like 1 wee slot there, like as it was announced, that was to be announced who was going to be on that, and I don't think they decided.
So I think with that one, they've just not get everybody booked for that one, so just go, I'll give somebody a chance.
I think just as it happened, like that Wednesday late show was running quite late, so they had to cut. He was meant to be on that show,
right?
But they cut him from it, and they said, "Look, we're not going to put you on this, but we'll put you on the gala tomorrow because you've done so well."
All right, that's good. Aye.
Who else? I mean, Kai Humphries, Daniel Sloss.
Kai's good.
Kai was good. He was on pretty much every show. He's been at this, I think, most years that it's been on.
He's a regular.
Aye. Who else? Paul Smith.
Was he good? Did you like him?
Aye, again, I hadn't seen him live. Obviously, everyone's seen his clips all over the internet, but I hadn't actually seen him do material. I'd only ever seen him do crowd work. So, like, when he was on, what was he doing? So he was hosting the Tuesday show. And obviously, as host, he was doing a lot of crowd work. There was a guy.
He stole material.
No. He stole a guy's phone. There was a guy right in the front that was sitting on his phone, and he was like, "You texting somebody?" And he grabbed his phone off him, and then somebody shouted, "Look at his pictures!" So he went through and he found a dick pic, and he was about to send it to somebody.
Oh no!
But the guy proper like chased him round the room. It was like Benny Hill or something, and the guy was like just about like the guy sat down. He was like, "Fuck this!" Like dead defeated, and he went to give it back. And then
imagine finding a dick pic on his phone and send it to all the females on his phone. That's him fucked in it.
Because like one of his pals was like, "Oh, check his Snapchats for this whoever it was." And the guy was like, "Oh no, fuck this is."
We hope that doesn't go on the internet. That shit.
Well, his name was Dom, and because like he'd kind of
Dom with a big dong.
From what I heard, it wasn't even that big, but. He just started getting picked on for all the comedians like for that same show, but it kind of became a thing of the festival. It's like everyone was talking to him.
Aye,
I never spoke to him personally.
So he became famous.
Pretty much, aye.
Aye, for a few days. Was he all right though? Was he a dick like the Irish guy?
No, he was all right. He was with a group of Welsh guys.
Right,
they all seemed all right.
Aye,
but sorry, that was like kind of part of the crowd work that Paul Smith was doing, which was good, really good. Obviously, that's kind of his thing. But
it was actually the owners of one of the owners of the hot water decided he was going to go he was going to make him famous.
Aye.
So it was like
the first ones to start putting out all these clips.
So he said, like, "I'm going to make you famous," because he understood how social media worked.
Aye.
And just filmed, like he was comparing a lot of the hot water gigs, and just filmed all the crowd work. Just started putting them up, and then all of a sudden he was selling out arenas and shit.
Aye. And now it's just the norm. It's like every comedian has to start putting out clips and all that.
See, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if crowd work is the. Maybe people are fed up with crowd work. They want wee bits of material now. I'm not sure because it's kind of been done of it. I'm not sure.
It has. I mean, from what I've heard, a lot of comedians like to put out clips of crowd work so that they're not burning their actual material.
That's true. Aye.
Because obviously you've got an endless. If you're filming every show, you've got an endless stream of crowd work that you can put out.
Aye.
Whereas if you put out, a couple of. If you put out 60 clips of 1 minute of your material, you've put out your hour.
Your hour, then you need to write new stuff.
But as I say, I'd never really watched his actual material. But the next night he headlined, and he was actually really good at his material.
What was he talking about?
He was talking about when he went to Turkey to get his teeth done.
He's got Turkey teeth. Did he get a hair transplant or no?
No,
I need one.
No, I think it was just his teeth he got done. And it was a guy, actually, I don't know if you know this, it was one of his clips that went viral, his early
Aye.
crowd work clips was him making fun of a guy with turkey teeth.
All right.
And through that, the doctor that did his turkey teeth got in touch with Paul Smith and he was like, I'll do yours for free. And just for a bit of exposure.
For exposure.
Aye. And that's how he got his, and then ended up getting his wife's done as well.
Aye.
So that's like the kind of
So you
story.
get free turkey teeth because
he made fun of a guy with turkey teeth.
All right. So what I'm hoping for with this podcast, if this podcast starts kind of building a big audience, I'm looking for a hair transplant company that want sponsorship.
And I need my beard one.
You can have a beard transplant. Have you ever, this is like a
No, I did actually.
7 week growth of beard.
No, I did trim it yesterday when I got back because it was actually getting, my moustache bit was getting a bit long and it was going in my mouth.
Was it?
It was actually how long it was getting. It was.
So as you see, you struggle to grow a beard.
I do, aye.
Long have you left it for?
I mean, I've not had a proper clean shave in like over a year now. I just trim it.
All right.
And even then it's
Stuff fuck all there, man.
I know.
It was a bit windy yesterday, so you probably lost a bit.
I lost it up in the Alps last week.
So I've never really had a beard either. The only time that I've almost had a beard has been maybe like during the Edinburgh Festival, where I'm just having like with a few years it's just a wild year where you're drinking for 3 weeks.
You've got no time or energy to shave.
I know, it's just you're just kind of having that wild kind of good fun. You're kind of going out drinking and having a good laugh, and then all of a sudden it's 2.5 weeks in, you're kind of like fucking what's the film with Tom Hanks?
Castaway.
You're like Castaway. It's just kind of beardy, but I kind of liked it. I liked it for a wee while. I kind of liked that look, kind of rough as fuck, just fucking.
I'd like to have the
beardy.
option one day.
Sorry, I was gaslighting you there because I said, look at my beard. I can actually grow a better beard than you during this episode.
I'm sure you could.
Now watch this, look. You just some editing to make some beard come out. You know that good.
I'm not that good.
What I'll do is, right, we'll put this episode out for about a month and I'll come back, get a beard, right, and then we'll just kind of go.
Just put that wee bit in.
Aye, when we're done with the guitar thing.
Aye. So, I'm not going to go into it too much detail, but it was a good time.
So, who was your favourite? Who was your favourite? Like, and like, what you mean?
I mean, obviously there was a few of them that I'd seen before and seen quite recently. So, like, I saw Daniel Sloss's tour towards the end of last year.
Oh, aye. Where did you see that?
That was in the Armadillo.
Right.
He obviously, for the most part, always has Kai supporting. So I'd seen him. Who else? I saw Mark Nelson's one at the Kings just like the week before we went.
You said you like Mark Nelson.
Who else have I seen before? Again, I hadn't seen the likes of. There's quite a few names that you see on like Mock the Week and all these things. Tara O'Brien was headlining. Emmanuel Sanubi, you know him?
Nah.
Very big black muscly guy.
Aye.
He turned up. They got off the bus on Sunday. All the comedians turned up at the hotel, and kind of piled into the bar at our hotel to watch a game of football that was on.
Aye.
And apparently, so they flew into Munich and got the bus from there. And when he was at Munich airport, he saw like a deal on like a bottle of vodka that was like, a litre of vodka for €12 or something. And he was like, oh, I'll buy that. That'll last me the full week. And then by the time the bus got to the hotel, it was gone.
Fuck hell. You said he was pissed, didn't you?
So he came in, started talking to me and Ainsley. I've got a couple of pictures that I'll insert here of him. Like,
he did. You sent me them last week.
I sent you one.
He kissed you that.
I've got a photo of him kissing my cheek, and then shortly after that, he just full on snogged me.
Fuck's sake, man.
And then on Tuesday, was it Tuesday or Wednesday? We were talking to him again. Or I think I was at the toilet in one of the venues, and I came out and he was talking to Ainsley, and she was like, "Yep, there he is. Do you remember him?" And he was like, "I'm so sorry. I've heard what I've done."
He had the fear the first day in.
He did, and then every day he's like, "Oh, I'm not drinking today," and then you'd see him like an hour later, like, "Fuck."
Steaming,
So he was a good laugh. His material was great as well. He's been on your Live at the Apollo and all this kind of stuff as well.
That's a bit like Edinburgh Festival years I've had like a Jaeger bomb night, go never again. Then 12 hours later, yeah.
So and then the last show on the Friday, it was called Who's in the Clown Hole. So it was just
Who's in the Clown Hole?
Yeah. So they did on the Wednesday. They did the Clown Hill race,
right?
Which was just all the comedians racing on the ski slope.
All right,
racing or snowboarding. So, but again, if you have the VIP tickets that we've got, you're allowed to enter that race. I didn't. We skied for 10 minutes. And
is all you done with skiing? Aye.
We only hired skis one day on Wednesday. We got up the lift, skied from the lift to the bar, which was like from here to the door of my house.
I get pissed.
We got pissed in there. We watched the race. We watched it while standing with the Sloss family.
Right, aye.
They bought us some drinks, and then I put my skis back on. I went for one proper run down to the next lift, and I found a wee German child tangled in a fence, and I had to save him.
You found a German child tangled in a fence?
Aye, I was just, and I've not skied in like 15 years. I had one kind of refresher lesson like 2 weeks ago.
Oh, did you do that before you went?
Aye, but that was like on a dry slope in Bellahouston Park.
All right.
So when you're on snow, it's quite different. So I was kind of struggling. I came over the brow of a hill, saw this wee kid in a fence, like.
Aye, so was there nobody else about?
No,
like?
any parents or anything. It was like quite a quiet part of the slope, and I was like, I need to help this wee guy, but I'm not very good at like stopping, so I had to like just about stop without crashing into him. Couldn't
Did you
really
not just get your phone and go, yeah? Peter Griffin laughing. Yeah.
It was like there was like a wee thin fence, like just kind of made of plastic that kind of separated where the ski lift goes up to where the edge of the slope comes down, and he'd kind of fell into that and got all wrapped up. But I couldn't really like get out my skis, so I was just like kind of poking him with my poles and trying to like get him out the fence.
Did you get him out then? I just still
No, I did get him, and I didn't even know at this point whether he was English or whatever. And I was just like, "Are you okay? You ready to go?" And he just went "Danke" and went away. So I'm assuming he was German or Austrian or whatever. And then I went down to the lift. At this point, Ainsley was like up. She'd got back on her skis, tried to go down again, fell on her arse a couple of times.
Was she pissed at the time?
We maybe had a few, but like, even
drunk skiing.
She wasn't drunk when we first got on the skis and just went from the lift to the bar, and she fell at that point as well. So
you're skiing between bars?
There's like bars and restaurants dotted about all over the.
So you kind of got up the top, and then you ski, like, you ski crawl like a what would you pub ski? Pub, do you know what I mean? So you're just
a snowy pub
like
crawl.
a pub crawl, but you're skiing between pubs.
Aye,
that sounds amazing.
But we actually only skied for like a grand total of 10 minutes.
So you were there for a week and you skied for 10 minutes, fuck's sake.
We did go up the mountain.
Was that part of your package? But when you paid for the thing, did skiing come included in it? Or?
No, that's separate. So you need to pay for like your actual pass to go up on the cable car up to the mountain.
So you need to hire skis and stuff as well. So is that quite expensive as well?
I think we were like €50 for the day for both of us.
Well, that's not too bad. That's all right. That's all right.
It's a bit more expensive to actually get your ski pass to actually go up in the cable car to access the mountain. It's a bit cheaper either if you get one day pass later in the day. It kind of gets cheaper as the day goes on.
Right.
Or you can buy a multi-day pass. But quite a few of the days we just bought like a pedestrian pass, so we could go up and walk about the restaurants and go to like that podcast show.
Right.
Without actually paying for skis.
For skis,
so it wasn't too bad.
So you just get the cable car back down again then?
Aye.
So you could go up and just come back down. So how did you get back down eventually when you get pissed? Did you just get the cable car?
You still
back?
get the cable car, aye.
Right.
It's like, I don't know if the snow in the depth of winter comes all the way down to the village. I would assume it does, but like it was, we packed there expecting to be like fucking going to the North Pole, jumpers and all this kind of stuff. It was like 27 degrees when we came back yesterday sitting at the airport.
Was it?
It was a roasting. Like we go up in the mountains and it's snowing and everyone's in all their big jackets and ski gear, and then you get 10 minutes cable car down and it's like shorts and t-shirt weather. It's mad.
That's crazy, isn't it? It's quite high up. So what mountains is it? It's the Alps, isn't it?
It's the Alps.
I nearly made an ass myself there. I was like, I've no researched this. It's the Alps.
Do you enjoy your week in the Rockies?
The Rocky Mountains,
the Himalayas.
The Campsies. Did you enjoy your week in the Campsies?
Sorry, they had that race, and then I was telling you there's who's in the clown hole. I think the person that won was just like one of the VIP ticket. That's what I was saying. If you've got the VIP ticket, you can enter the race. I didn't because I thought
I had a bit on just to whoever I know, like Kai Humphries that used to do a lot bit of running and stuff, so he'd have been the fittest.
He has, and he does snowboard and has done for years.
Because he's quite a sporty character.
I
remember he used to post on Facebook he's like 5k times, and it was like 18 minutes and shit. It's like fucking hell, that's fast. You know?
He did. I think I didn't even, when I went and skied, I didn't even go as far as sort of it started at that pub I was talking about, and I only skied down from there to like where the next lift stops and comes up.
Aye.
But the actual race went down further than that, so I didn't even really see what the conditions were like. But somebody else, I think it might have been Daniel Sloss's dad actually, was telling me that the course they were doing is more suited to skiers, and Kai was snowboarding.
Right. All right. So
and saying that, I think it was Marcus Brigstock's son that came second, and he was snowboarding.
Aye.
So
Marcus Brigstock skiing.
He was snowboarding.
All right.
He
I
does.
was wondering how he was because he had a stroke a couple of years ago.
Oh, did
He
he?
must, he done talks about that in one of his shows. Like last year, it was like that was a couple of years ago. Part of his thing was he had a stroke like a few years ago.
Right, I didn't know
He's
that.
obviously, I mean, he's doing all right because he went blind and because you see him like some of the TV stuff he's done. He sits in a stool.
Yeah,
that's-
I've only really seen him on like panel shows where he's obviously sitting anyway.
Aye, so he had a stroke, so
Well,
he's clearly doing all right.
He was up snowboarding every day,
Aye.
so he must be
But
alright.
maybe he's claiming off the sick benefit of the Bru then. So we've just grassed him up.
Aye.
So he faked a stroke. So what's his Bridgestock?
Marcus Brigstock.
Marcus Brigstock has faked a stroke. No, he did. I think his eyesight had a wee bit of ball on one of his eyes or something.
Alright. There was that last show I was telling you about, the Who's in the Clown Hole. So that's just basically all the comedians were doing 5 minutes
Right.
on the last day.
Let's oil them.
Aye. Well, I think Darryl O'Brien was away by that point. Daniel Sloss was away.
Fucking divas.
Aye. As far as I can remember, I think everyone else came on and
Aye.
did 5 minutes.
Is that a good show? Aye.
Aye, that was a bit mental again. Everyone was like the Thursday late show, everyone was like, I don't know if I've got another day of this in me. But it got to the Friday, like we were shattered. We didn't even go up the mountain that day. We were
Aye.
just like
Maybe shattered with alcohol.
a combination of that and walking about at high altitude for
I
a
suppose
couple of days.
because the kind of air pressure's low in it, so you're not getting as much oxygen. That's
And then-
how Kenyans are fast as fuck in it.
Aye, so we should start training up there
Aye.
for your marathon.
Aye.
And then not eating very healthy. There's like no such thing as vegetables in the Austrian
No.
diet. It's just meat and bread.
So we eating hot dogs and shit.
Aye, like bratwurst,
Bratwurst.
and pulled pork and just meat stuff.
Aye.
My joke of the week. I don't know if I should say it.
Aye, you can.
It was Martin Elson one joke of the week for me, and I've since learned that when he said this, he was on mushrooms. So, but
It was on mushrooms.
Aye,
Obviously just normal mushrooms.
just portobellos and that.
Aye. Like,
He that was the Thursday Night Late Show, I think. He was talking about that. He was like the diet, he's like there's no meat, there's no vegetables. It's only like meat and bread that everyone's eating. And he was
so there's
like,
no vegetables up the mountains at all.
not that we saw in any shops or restaurants.
Chips, was there chips?
There was chips, there was wedgies, but
That's
it's-
almost vegetables.
the
isn't
full
it?
diet is just like meat and carbs.
The carrots.
No carrots. So Martin Nelson said something along the lines of, I think the last vegetable seen on the mountain was Michael Schumacher.
Oh no. Fucking hell, man.
He actually, another fun story about Martin Nelson, I was telling you, he had his kids with him.
Aye.
He's got
You just told the sickest joke in the world that Martin Nelson told us. Oh, he had his kids with him as well.
what was it, the Tuesday show. He was on the main show, and he does a bit in his set where he talks about like just being a parent. And he's like, parents always say they don't have a favourite kid. They're fucking lying. Do you know what I mean? He's like, I love my daughter.
Aye.
She's amazing. My son, he's a wee cunt, right? So he came on and did this, unaware that Daniel Sloss's mum, just before he went on, had convinced Amy Nelson, his wife,
Aye.
to bring the kids to the show.
All right, shit.
So the kids were up the balcony watching the show, and he said this, and all the other comedians have said like they all just turned round to wee Seamus and saw his face like when he said
fucking hell.
that. And then he came on to the next show he was on, and he was like, "So apparently I've made a school shooter the other night."
His son will be a comedian now in 10 years' time on the circuit.
It's like some super villain origin story.
Aye. Holy
Um,
shit, man.
And then on that show I was telling you where they all do 5 minutes, like he was fucked again, and he came out just like with daft wee jokes, like not like big bits, just silly wee ones that he'd written over the years, and he was like, I'm just going to tell 3 jokes and down a drink and keep doing it until my 5 minutes is up. So that was his last
So he was
one.
down in drinks as he was doing it, so he'd done about 3 pints.
And this was late on at the late show as well, so
Aye.
this
Was
must
he
have been about
pissed?
midnight. Oh aye.
Aye. Mark likes a bevy. Used to do the Wicker Man Festival years ago.
Alright, aye.
And so that was maybe fucking over 10 years ago. And Mark Nelson was always there. A few other comedians, but we all liked a bevy back then.
Aye.
I'm sure there was poppers involved. I never touched that. I was a shite bag, things like that. But they
Aye,
were
from
wanting
what
poppers and shit.
So like we would, after the late show every night, we would just go straight up to our room. It was finishing at like 1 a.m. every
Aye.
night. Rift. So we would, and as I said, it was in a nightclub that was underneath the hotel. So every night that show would finish, we'd go up. but there was up to a room, and our balcony sort of overlooked the bit that was like the smoking area that came out of like the stage door, so we could hear all the comedians like just coming out of there.
You can't get them all cancelled. Some of the things they stay off stage.
But like after all of that would finish at like 1 o'clock. We'd go down to the pub for like another few hours and stay out till like 4 in the morning.
Would?
No, all of them. I'd been in my bed. I was fucked.
Lightweight, you're in your bed for 1 o'clock.
Pretty much, aye.
You're a shite 27-year-old.
I know, I really am. But it was the altitude that was getting to me.
Nah, boy, the altitude, man.
No, I'm just out of shape, I think.
Good enough.
But we'd hear them chatting outside there for like half an hour, and then they'd all go down to this pub, and we'd be. I heard some substances being exchanged, so I think that's how they managed to stay out as late as they did.
Aye. We don't want to cause a lawsuit, but do we?
I'm not going to name any names.
You can tell me after the podcast.
I'll know.
There's a lot of that goes on in the comedy world.
I've got a wee treat for us.
You've got a treat?
Aye.
Holy shit, man! This is a happiest day of my life.
Well, we'll see. I got this delivered the other day. I got an email actually saying you've been selected.
You've been selected. This is exciting. Like that. Like he's been looking at the internet. What's going on viral? Unboxing's fucking huge.
I'm unboxing my early access trials of the new summer Irn Bru flavours.
Oh no, man! Let's see, what is it?
We've got a raspberry ripple flavour.
Oh shit!
And a wild berry slush.
Aye.
So I got an email that was like, reply to this if you want to try the new thing.
Where did you get that then?
I got an email from Irn Bru that said, do you want to try this? And I was like, aye. And then they sent me this. So I thought we'd try it.
I thought you secretly got like Irn Bru to sponsor the podcast.
Well, we're working on that, don't worry.
So are we trying this now?
Aye.
Alright, fair enough. This is exciting. Is that how you said like I've got no get any Irn Bru today?
I don't have any Irn Bru flavoured Irn Bru.
Aye. So what have you got? Raspberry ripple?
And wild berry.
Oh aye. So I'm not sure, man. I think Irn Bru should just taste like Irn Bru.
Did you not try any of these last year?
No.
In the summer they had a tropical one and an ice cream flavour one last year.
I'm not sure, man. I'm kind of...
God, we've got the full branding and everything. I didn't realise that. Right, would you want to go first? Wild berry slush or raspberry ripple?
Right, go for it. Whatever, wild berry slush.
Berry slush first, right. Bars if you want to sponsor us. We're probably the podcast that's recorded closest to the Bars Factory.
Aye. That's right, it's just down the road, isn't it?
I think that's a good reason to sponsor us. It was still orange. I was expecting it to be purple. Or a wild berry.
Alright, I'll do it. Wasn't sure how to do that there. I'll do. So what's this one?
This is wild berry slush Irn Bru extra. I know you said you were trying to stay off the brew, but this is extra, no sugar.
Right.
It doesn't taste like Irn Bru. It tastes like
wild berries.
Berry. Wild berry. It's weird though, it's orange. It looks like it should be that colour. I quite like it.
It's alright. Does it taste like Irn Bru? It's a fuck up for your brain. You're looking at it and goes, that's Irn Bru. Then it tastes like some summer fruits shit.
You're right, I poured a bit of a big portion.
It was alright. I thought I was banned for eating when the podcast was on.
If we're specifically trying something, that's alright. If you're trying to listen to somebody else talking, then
I know. Because I hate eating. Well, no, I don't like. I hate that sound that people make when they're eating.
So you've not been and listened to the Thor episode yet?
Nah. I'd hate myself. I haven't. I annoyed myself just imagining it. So you got hundreds of that there, didn't you?
I don't know if I'm just slow at drinking it or if I've got loads.
I mean, that's what you were like at the Altitude Felled Festival. You were a shite drinker.
No, I put in a good shift.
Did you put in a good shift? Was Ainsley a bit pissed as well? The two E's on it then?
Aye, we're both. Right, raspberry ripple.
Was there anything mad happen apart from just the comedy and the ones you've told me? Any kind of stories just with the drinking, people you met?
Apart from Big Emmanuel getting off with me in the first night. Don't think so. Raspberry ripple.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Oh, that's a bit like the ice cream one that they did last year.
Aye, that's a wee bit.
That. It's got that vanilla tinge to it, but with the raspberry. Oh, I like that. Oh goodness.
I don't know. I don't know if I like that. Tastes a wee bit like cream soda. I don't really like cream soda.
I like it. You're right. I do like a cream soda.
I used to like it, but I just stopped liking it.
Oh well. I thought it would be good for some content anyway.
That was all right. I preferred the first one. I preferred the raspberry.
You mean the wild berry?
Sorry, the wild berry one. That was nice, but that was all right. I've had a can of that. I would drink it, but I would kind of. I wouldn't love it. I'd be going, it's all right. I'd kind of. That kind of thing. Those things. Those things you eat, but you wouldn't buy.
If somebody gave you it, aye.
Those things, aye. So if somebody gave you some, you go, I'll eat it anyway because it's food.
Aye.
But you would never buy it. You'd never go out and buy.
Is that your case with them then?
I think so. But if I was like, if you offered me a full can, I'm all right. I'll drink it. Then I'd kind of go, I pretend I liked it, but I didn't like it. I wouldn't go out and go, I'm going to get a can of wild berry Irn Bru now.
It was all right for a free sample.
It was all right for a free sample. I enjoyed it.
I was very confused when it came to the door. I was like, I've no holiday, and then I opened it and there's 2 cans of Irn Bru.
Aye.
There we go.
I thought you could have gone, we've got a 10 grand a week sponsorship from Irn Bru.
The offer's there. From
Just
us.
round the road. We could just go round the road and get the stuff.
It's very gassy.
I remember they could have paid us in gingy bottles back in the day.
I was just a wee break from to break up the conversation. But aye, it did get me sort of inspired to go and do some gigs and try and do that myself. Because I've not done any obviously since we did the workshop gig. But obviously
he said that now you were up for doing a couple of gigs now.
Aye, like I said in the chat, like Alex and that was asking if about folk looking for spots, which I think just leading up to this holiday I was working loads.
Aye.
Partly just for overtime towards the holiday, but just how work's been kind of thing.
Aye.
But now
you spend a fortune.
Aye. And I pretty much decided we're doing it again next year anyway. So
that sounds good.
But who knows? Maybe I'll be on as an artist next year.
Maybe. I don't know.
But no, as I say, just spending that time going to 3 comedy shows every night for a week and being surrounded by comedians has sort of inspired me to want to go for it a bit more. So
you should this year you should during the festival you should try and get some open spots. Well, I can help you try and get some open spots during the Edinburgh Festival. And that's good. I always say that to new acts. If you get a chance, like if you're working, take a week off, 2 weeks, you could go and do 3 or 4 gigs a day.
I think
just open spots, and you just learn so much doing that level in that a short amount of time.
I think even out with me doing comedy, I was probably going to take a bit of time off during the Fringe this year. Either hopefully we can maybe get some guests, extra guests on that'll be up for that. So I might come through.
I'll probably stay there. So maybe we can work out somewhere we could do even if we've got to do a couple a day. We got a wee build up of episodes again.
Aye, that'll be handy.
And that'll be a load of comedians that are there. We'll get Dan Willis, loads of guys I know that would be up for doing it.
And then add into that, hopefully try to get some spots. But obviously, even before that, I want to get back into it a wee bit.
I
seen you're doing another workshop over the summer, right?
Aye. So I'm going to do one on starting on the 2nd of June or the 4th of June or something like that. So it's the first Sunday in June.
Cool.
So I'm going to set that up a day. So I'm going to set that event up on Eventbrite.
Oh, just for
Are you up for doing it again?
I think so. I seen you post about it, and I said to Ainsley the other day, I was like, I want to do it because I think I need that reason to force me to do it again.
So it gets you writing again, doesn't it? And maybe force you to write maybe a new 5 or
because I think basically towards the end of the last workshop, I basically had probably 10 and whittled down the best of that into my 5.
Aye.
And I have, even since then, I've got my wee note that just whenever things happen or pop into my head, I take a note of it.
So do you use your phone for notes or?
Aye, it's like synced to this as well. So I've got it.
Aye.
It's on there. Like, there was probably a few wee things that happened on holiday that
So what stuff then? What stuff do you reckon that happened that?
Like, what have I written here? So just that thing I was telling you, mind about Ainsley not being able to tell accents.
I was wondering my phone meant.
I looked at there to get those cups. I just mind I was telling you that about that guy that wasn't Irish that Ainsley thought was Irish.
Aye.
Something about that. Just that idea of she can't tell accents.
Oh, right. That's like so she can't tell that actors are acting.
Aye.
So is that like maybe meeting like see you say like Like, remember when Dirty Den for EastEnders, you met him out in the street, go, you're a bastard. I'm a character, pal. It's like, you know, you just meet somebody that's had a soap opera, you call them a cunt because of their character.
That's been done in Friends, though. I can't do that. That was in Friends.
Oh, was it?
Joey was an actor in like a soap opera, and he went out with a woman that thought he was like the doctor from that show.
Aye.
But something along those lines, just that idea. I've got another bit here about just went on my first skiing holiday and being a fat guy trying to ski. It's quite funny.
Alright, aye. So what would you write about that then? I would see sound a bit like a big snowball up here if you fell.
Aye, just like
caused an avalanche.
Aye, so that's kind of what I was thinking.
Exaggerate a wee bit.
My holiday get finished early because I've caused an avalanche. This is like covered the town.
Aye.
So
that ski resort doesn't exist anymore.
Aye. Oh, here's one I've got about and this. If you're at a gig at like the Hydro or like a stadium or something, and somebody's recording a video and they've got the torch on their phone.
Aye.
And I'm like, you do realise there's fucking millions of pounds worth of lights lighting that stage. Your phone's not going to make a difference for the back of the Hydro.
Aye.
Something about that because it does my fucking nut in if somebody's behind me and the light's on.
The back of your head, you feel it. The back of your.
Or just it starts lighting up the people in front of you, and then it's harder for you to see the stage.
Ah, right.
So I want to do some kind of ranty bit about that.
Aye. I can't. People that phone record everything instead of enjoying the moment.
Aye, well, that in itself, like recording, like filming gigs, but even worse if you're at the back of the Hydro with the light on, thinking it's going to illuminate the stage.
Aye. You move here a bit, Stevie. I'm trying to give something to go to the Hydro. I don't know who. No, can you move to the left a wee bit? I don't know.
Aye, that's a few wee bits, but I think it would be advantageous.
Aye, come do it again.
Aye,
because I'm looking forward to it. Because I've been gigging the last couple of weeks, I've not put the event out yet. I've got the room booked for the 6 weeks, so I just need to kind of get it. I'll probably do that today when I go home.
Aye, because I've been meaning to sit and write some more stuff and try and I know I've got my 5 that I did, so I could go out to open mics now and do that 5. But just something to force me to keep writing.
Aye. It's important to it's important to write more. I mean, I should be writing more as well. But I'm kind of getting more disciplined. I think doing this is good for discipline because we're doing it regularly. Do you know what I find? You know what I find? That I'm kind of learning a wee bit. Discipline. Like I'm always been a scatterbrain.
Right.
But discipline kind of breeds discipline. So if you're doing something regularly, you start doing other things a wee bit more regularly.
Aye.
So gradually. So sometimes I get overwhelmed. I go, right, I need to do all these things. But then when I can't do it, I get disheartened and I go, fuck it. But if I can do I'm doing it gradually. So for the last 3 or 4 months, we've done this every week.
Yep.
I put it out every week, which is good. But then I just need to add another wee one on.
Aye.
Look, and I'm putting out content on TikTok more often through this. So adding that and it's like a compounding effect.
Aye.
So you just do wee things gradually, especially for scatterbrains.
Aye.
You just do a couple of wee things.
Well, to an extent, I'm a bit scatterbrainy, but like, again, I always use my work as an excuse for everything. But like having spent a week in the mountains,
getting pissed,
and then feeling very unfit, trying to walk around on a snowy mountain.
Aye.
I'm back here and I'm off my holiday, and I'm like, I need to fucking get myself in shape again.
Aye.
I say again as if I've ever been in shape, but not like.
There's Arnold Schwarzenegger the last episode. He's went away.
Aye, so that's like kind of on my list of stuff to do now.
Aye.
Like get back into getting into the gym and kind of eating reasonably, which is hard. But I'm
Have you
working
ate some
away
vegetables since you got back?
No, I had the Chinese the night we get back, and then
and there's onions in that.
Aye, there you go. Chips. That's potatoes.
Right. What did you get?
What did I had chicken and char siu, pork fried rice, and just a wee chips and curry on the side.
Well, chips is vegetables, isn't it?
Aye. There was spring onions in the rice.
Well, there you go. There, fuck it. You're on it. You're healthy as fuck.
Can't argue with that. But aye, now that I'm back to work tomorrow, I'm on the health train.
On the healthy. I need to eat as well because I'm. I know. We're on it. I'm going to go and do a 40-mile run after this.
I'm going to not.
Right. So the next episode we'll do like 500 press ups each.
I'll be recording the next episode in years from now.
Aye. I just do one, but then just repeat it.
Or just record one. Aye. I can do that.
I do a loop. I just put that out for an hour.
And it would probably be a silent episode if that'll fulfill
No,
your...
it has to be a real, it has to be a real, it has to be a real silent episode.
Oh dear.
I'm going to record one myself.
That's fine. I'm not being involved.
You're involved. You're involved. You're doing it. You're doing it.
Deary. Right, that's near enough an hour. Shall we call that this week's?
Aye. This was a wee last minute one. As you can see, like we've done it on one camera.
That's just to save some editing time.
Save some editing time because this is the first time we've been kind of late.
This is Monday, and this is the episode that comes out this Thursday.
Because Kris was away getting pissed for a week. So, aye, but it's good that we've still got it done.
Aye, we'll be back to usual business. Maybe sort some more guests.
Aye, you can work out what you're doing with your work, and we'll work out. And I'm actually doing my Just Eat job round about Cumbernauld now.
All right, cool.
So it's handy, so I can just pop in.
Probably see you later tonight then.
No, I've actually I actually delivered next door to you a couple of days ago.
Oh, really?
But you weren't even in, so
I was on a mountain.
you
No.
were on a mountain. So I come into this street, fucking neighbours.
Who was it? What did they have?
I can't remember, man. I can't remember. I think it was a McDonald's. So it was a couple of doors up, I think.
I see.
Or it was over that side. Aye. So I can't remember. The next time what I'll do is, right, I'll just deliver it to you, right? You go, there you go. I just pretend it's the wrong address.
No, see, last week I would have said that's brilliant, but no, I'm on the good train.
Oh, aye, right. If it's a salad or something, I'll do that.
Just getting a salad delivered. Right.
Is that us, right? So I've got nothing to plug apart from a comedy workshop.
Yes, what was it, 2nd of June?
Aye, so the first month of June, because I done my wee tour of gigs there.
The first month of June.
The first month of June. Because I done my wee tour of gigs there. I done 4 gigs over the last month, solo shows. Done alright, so...
Was that including your festival ones?
So 2 Glasgow Comedy Festival shows.
I enjoyed that, we didn't talk about that.
Aye.
I was at the Blackfriars one.
Aye, Blackfriars.
Good wee night, that.
Small crowd, it was good fun. Done Rothsay and I done Culloden.
Nice. All right, I thought Culloden was in Ireland, outside Belfast.
No. No, Culloden's
Maybe
up
there's
near
another one.
Inverness.
Fair enough. Aye, I'll put the link once you've got the link for the workshop. I'll put that in the description.
Aye. But other than that, if anybody wants to sponsor us, we're looking for a grand an episode.
We want hair transplants and unlimited Irn Bru.
Hair transplants. Beard transplant. So a beard transplant for him. Hair transplant for me. And Irn Bru. But other than that, thanks.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching. Episode 15. Woohoo.